Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello, welcome to the show. This is your host, JC Soto. And today we have CrossFit fitness trainer, Dana Howell. Welcome to the show, Dana Howell.
Hi, JC. Thanks for having me.
A lot of people hear about CrossFit, and there seems to be just a really unclear perception of CrossFit and what it is. Can you tell us more about CrossFit and how you're helping your clients?
Yeah. It's pretty simple. We just get you working out and moving in a way that you wouldn't do before and that you probably wouldn't do on your own. A lot of people think that CrossFit is what they see on TV. And yes, that's one component of it, but we really can make it scalable and valuable to the normal everyday person that we all know we need to exercise. That's a given. We know we need to exercise. We know we need to eat healthy, but most people don't know where to start. Or maybe you've been a past competitor and you just don't think that you can get back into the shape that you were. Both those are misconceptions. CrossFit really is for everybody. It's for the athlete. It's for the mom. It's for the working professional. What we do in our gym is we do functional movement, constantly varied. And one of the other pillars is high intensity. But I always make sure that my clients know that the intensity, we get to pick our intensity. So what you see on TV is intensity at its highest, weight at its heaviest, skill at the highest level. But what we do in our gym is we scale it down so people can come walk into our gym and we've got movements. Everybody will go through the same workout in our 1 hour class. We as coaches run you through the warm up. We run you through movement prep. We run you through mobility, and then we run you through strength in the workout. It's all done in 60 minutes. You all do it together. It really is a lot of fun. And while one person is doing a heavy weight, someone who just started, we're going to scale that weight back and make it doable for them. So they still have the intensity they need to get a good workout in. We do it together. We have a good time, and everybody's welcome.
And what are the advantages of using functional movements in your fitness routine? What's the advantages of doing that?
That's a good question, because I think a lot of people, you've got your Globo gyms out there where you're on cables or you've got machines and you work one muscle group at a time. Functional movement, we're trying to get you to a point where you can not just do a bicep curl, but pick up a heavy cooler from the ground and put it on top of your boat. Or, we're working towards everyday movement to get you healthier in general, more fit in general, to do the things you love. So our goal isn't just to get you to look good. It's a happy byproduct. I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. But to be able to move in a functional way in your everyday, to pick up your kid or to hold your kid, things at work, whether you're moving things around, or if you have a 13-year-old dog like myself and I have to pick him up and put him in the car, those are all things that we can prepare you for. So we prepare you for life with those functional movements. And while the goal isn't just to look good, again, like I said, I don't think anybody's going to complain about it. It really is fun to look good and carve your body into one that God's given us the ability to either tone down or gain more muscle mass. Those are all things that we can accomplish, and whatever your goal is, we can talk personally with you one-on-one and how we can get you there through our classes.
So you kind of mimicking some of the stuff we do every day and make it so we can use that strength in our everyday life. Yeah.
So there's lots of things we do. There's a component of body weight movement. There is weighted movement. We do squats and we do presses. Those are usually with barbells or dumbbells. So we use all those auxiliary muscles and not just your main muscle groups. Of course, those are worked, but there's gymnastics work in there. There's Olympic lifting. There's push-ups and pull-ups. And that's the part about the constantly varied stuff. We're a little bit of everywhere. So you get your explosive work, you get your strength work, you get your endurance work. So instead of going to a gym and just doing strength for an hour and then doing another 20, 30 minutes on the treadmill and then doing a yoga class for stretching, we're really able to incorporate all that in your 60 minutes because not everybody has 30 hours a week to work out like competitors do or like professional athletes do. We understand that people have work and families and hobbies and things they want to do and they don't want to live in the gym. But what we can do in that 60 minutes in our gym really gets you healthier and better with more energy and get you to do those things outside of the gym with, again, that more energy and more capable and more fit to do those things, to enjoy them even more.
Now, you mentioned intensity earlier. Is that something that is added to every workout, as part of every workout also?
That's a good question too. So when we first start people off, that if they don't have any CrossFit experience, we'll run you through a foundations course. That's going to be 3 1-hour sessions. And that's one-on-one with a coach, probably me or one of our other owners. And between us, we've got a lot of experience. I went to the CrossFit Games last year. I've been competing for 7 years. And so with that comes a lot of knowledge and experience on not just how to be good, but how to move correctly and how to do it in a longevity way. So, to get away from injuries, all that kind of thing. So when we bring you in the foundations class, we're strictly teaching movement and modifications, words that you'll hear, vocabulary, cues that we'll use so that you can go into class safely and move efficiently and effectively. But in those classes, and even in the beginning of maybe your first month or so, I'm always sure to tell our clients, make sure you don't go so intense that we lose good form. We want to do good movement, keep that good form to keep you safe until we're able to build into intensity, until we're able to build into adding weight to these movements. We definitely want to get those movements moving well. And then at that point, we can begin to add intensity. And it's fun the whole time. But once you can start adding in the intensity, you'll realize that you push yourself way harder in a way that you didn't know you had you just been working out alone. But when you're amongst other people doing the same thing, there's just something about working out together that there is a natural competitive spirit in most people, whether you realize it or not. It doesn't look like competition on a pro level by any means, but it is fun to see what you've got and to do it amongst people or alongside people that are doing the same thing, and alongside people that eventually become your friends, because typically people have a very similar schedule, so you end up going to the same classes. We've got a variety of classes from morning to noon to evening, and but as you have your consistent schedule, you get to know these people and do it alongside them. And again, it's just a fun way to do it. So intensity is involved, but never at the sake of compromising movement.
Great. Since you've been out there for a while, what are some of the biggest myths that you find out are common when it comes to achieving fitness goals, and some of the stuff that some of your clients bring up to you?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably 2 big misconceptions. The first being that, maybe 3. The first being that what they know of is, again, what they've seen on ESPN. Big muscles and big egos. That's what I like to say. That's what people think about CrossFit. And they look at that and they think, maybe not think to them, it's a subconscious thing. They look at that and think, oh, that's for them. That's cool that they do that. But never in their wildest dreams would they put themselves in that situation, because it's that far off. So that's one misconception, is that it's for elite athletes. Another misconception is moving crazy weights, big tires. It kind of falls into that first category, games athletes, right? And the second one being, maybe a lot of people have heard about injuries in CrossFit. I think we get a bad rap for people either being so intense that it's not for them, or people being so intense that they get injured, because that's just what people hear. You usually don't talk about things that are going well. What you usually hear are the bad things. So you'll hear about injuries. And I do have to say that you can get a CrossFit certification over a weekend, and you can start coaching that Monday. And you can get coaches that don't have a lot of experience. So you do have to be careful about what gym you go to. So make sure that if you are searching for a CrossFit gym, or any gym for that matter, I'd say go to another gym and say, hey, I'm going to be working out in this area. Do you know of a good gym, whether it be CrossFit or whatever you're looking into? Would you recommend a good gym? Because people in the industry usually know where to go, and they usually know where not to go. So injuries are a part of any sport. yes, they're a part of CrossFit too, but I like to think of it like cars. You've got different kinds of cars. You've got cars you got race cars. And if you drive them hard and fast, they're going to break down big time. And you've got to put that maintenance in there. It's going to be bigger expenses, bigger costs, more time in the shop. And I liken those to our competitors. They might get injured more. There's more maintenance that you have to do. And when I'm talking injuries, I'm not talking career ending. I'm just talking maintenance stuff that you have to keep up on. Now, you've got cars that sit in a garage for decades. Now, those cars deteriorate too. And that's just from sitting and corrosion. And that can happen to our bodies. If we don't work them, if we don't move them, they corrode from the inside out. Cardiovascular disease, those types of things. And then you've got the normal average commuter car that you drive, and those take maintenance too. So are you going to see injuries? Yeah, but you'll see them in any professional sport. If you work out, are you going to have to maintain some things? Well, yeah, you should be. But if you don't do anything, you're also going to get a different kind of injury, but that's going to be a really costly one with, again, heart disease, high blood pressure, those types of things. So as far as the myths in CrossFit, yes, we move odd objects and we do lift heavy things, but once you get into it, you realize you can do it too. And it's a lot of fun to move weight. It's just fun to move weight. And yes, there's injuries. There's injuries in any sport, but I'd rather work on my body with maintenance than just let it sit on a couch and not experience its potential of what it's got.
Okay. So personal risk, getting hurt. Also, maybe the workout, maybe the thing is beyond their ability. You also have to face, sometimes people believe that it's not going to work for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. People that you say CrossFit and people usually think something in their mind, but you don't know what something is until you try it. So I would challenge anybody to just go in and try. Most gyms offer a free trial. Go and see what it's like. Even if you don't want to try it, go inside those doors and just talk to the coach. It is for everybody. And in business, they always say you have to get your target market. It's not for everybody. Find your target market. And I kind of get frustrated at that because we've got Tom. Tom is a member of ours. He's been a member for a long time. He's 80 years old and he still comes in. He's probably 4 days a week. And he comes in and he does his thing. We modify for him and it gets him moving. The less we move, the more stiff we get and we're going to start losing that range of motion. We've got moms. We've got working professionals. We've got a couple mountain bikers that bike on the college team. They're there. So it really runs the gamut. So if you don't think it's for you, I would challenge you to at least give it a shot or talk to one of us or our coaches.
That's good advice. Now, I'm sure that a lot of people put obstacles in front of them, or you found that obstacles like it costs too much or it takes too long. Are those common obstacles that you've seen frequently?
Yeah, all of those. You kind of hit the nail on the head with cost or no time is a lot of answers I get. Like, I know I need to work out. I just don't have time. And believe me, I'm a working professional too. I know what it's like to not have time. I also know what it's like to carve out the time and make it happen. And after you do, man, it just feels good to get it done. We do have a 5 a.m. class for you go-getters. It's pretty awesome to be in and out and done with the workout before most people even wake up. And then you can enjoy a cup of coffee before work. You get it in. So I do understand the value of time, and I do understand that it takes effort and sacrifice to make that happen. But I'll tell you this too. Most people, if you go to your own workout regimen, I mentioned this earlier, but it takes, depending on your regimen, maybe 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour just to do your strength portion. But then you haven't gotten endurance in. So you leave the weight room, you hop on a treadmill for 20, 30, 40 minutes, however long you got left. But then you haven't done any stretching or mobilization. And do you even know how to do that? So in 60 minutes, we'll get you a warm-up, movement prep, mobility, and a workout in. Sometimes, depending on the workout, if the workout's short, we can get a strength in too. So one of the hurdles is that we don't have time. Now, we know we need to work out, but if you come in into our place with the expertise of coaches and the proper programming, we can get all those things that you would have spent 90 minutes to 2 hours doing in 60 minutes, combining them with the strength and the cardio, getting a better bang for your buck. You mentioned finances, and that really is a big hurdle for most people. They look at a monthly membership and think, oh my gosh, that's so expensive, and just automatically write off that they can't do it. You think about personal training, because again, most people also don't really know what to do, and in not knowing what to do, they're intimidated to even start. So they just put that off because of that hurdle. So if you want to know what to do, you go get a personal trainer. Costs you anywhere from $80 to $120 an hour for personal training. And that's expensive. So if you do it, you're doing it once a week, and that's not enough. You really need to start out at 3 times a week if you don't already have something else you're doing. 3 times a week minimum. Obviously, I'm an advocate of more, closer to 4 or 5 times a week. But financially speaking, if you're only doing it 3 times a week at a personal training rate of, let's say, $100 an hour, that adds up to over $1,000 a month. And that's expensive. But if you come to a CrossFit gym, you've got your programming done. You just walk in the door and we'll teach you how to do everything. You've got a good coach to athlete ratio. It's almost as good as personal training, because your coach through those hours is going to get to know you and your movement. And we've got the athlete to coach ratio where we can spend that time in that hour on you, but not at $100 an hour, $170 a month. That's our unlimited membership, and that includes a lot more with different classes, and we can go into that later in detail if that's something anybody's interested in. But compare $100 per hour to under $200 for a month. It really is, I mean, that's a hurdle to come in, but when you think about it that way and everything you get, it's really a drop in the bucket. So understanding the value of people's time and people's money, we really try and make it work best for everybody. And we do have different membership options available, and we've got different times in the day available from 5 a.m. to 6:35 is when our last class ends. Childcare we offer at 9:10 for you moms. It's really awesome to be able to, I got to give it to you moms. I think that's got to be the hardest job out there. Props to you ladies. And as important as it is, I know at some point it's just hard and you just like a break, and we can give you an hour to not be a mom. Just not be a mom for an hour, be your own woman, hang out with other ladies. Guys, you can come too. We've got guys in our 9-10 class, but free childcare has been a really awesome option for you ladies that want to come in and get your workout in and take care of yourself when you're always used to taking care of so many. So yeah, to answer your questions on the hurdles, I'd say time and money is probably the bigger one.
And what kind of mistakes do you see frequently when a new member comes in and new clients come in and they are working on getting in shape? What are the pitfalls that you keep seeing people commit frequently?
Well, I would say there are some clients that I literally have to keep holding back. They want to go so hard, so heavy, because, man, they're walking in those doors. They're ready to change their life. And I love that enthusiasm, and we're going to help them do that. But we're in it for the long haul. We're not just trying to get you in your dress size for your summer weddings. We can do that, but we really want to make it a longer haul. We're so used to, as Americans, the next fad, the next pill, the thing that can get you to lose double-digit pounds in so many weeks. And yeah, we're going to help you out with that, but let's make it a sustainable thing for your lifetime. Not go so hard, so heavy that you peter out in 8 weeks, right? There's a lot of 6-8 week challenges, and those are great kickstarters, but do they teach you what you need to learn in a way that you can last for the rest of your lifetime? So mistake number one clients make is coming too hot, too heavy, and burning out. Don't do that. Just come in, continue listen to your coaches, let them guide you through what weight to use, your intensity that you should go at, and how to approach a workout. The other thing is nutrition. I had a client come in and man, she had so much desire to change her life, and she was going to do it. And she made both those mistakes. She came in too hot, too heavy. I tried to tell her to slow down. She was just going to do her thing, and props to her, right? I want to help her a longer path, so I'm going to help her be intense, as intense as you should be, but she wanted to keep going. The next thing, she was holding almost a 1,300 calorie a day diet. And I think there's a big difference between a diet and a nutrition plan. And we're rolling out in the next month and a half or so a nutrition plan that's going to, just like CrossFit, where we're teaching you how to do this for the long run, a nutrition plan that's going to help you in the long run. We'll teach you what it looks like, how to do it, what it all means, how to make it work for your lifestyle. So I think to concisely answer your question, two big mistakes we see are, I guess we can whittle that down to one in saying it's just going too hard too fast. And we want to help you with your plans, and we'll help lay out a system for you to help reach your goals.
So it seems like they come in and they're so energetic and enthusiastic that they just want to get going without realizing that it's better to slow down than just listen to the coach first.
Yeah. Yep. Make it a sustainable thing. And that's going to be when it's fun. I've been in competition for, I grew up playing volleyball. So I've been competing since 7th grade. And I know what it's like to go too hard, too fast. And eventually it just doesn't become fun anymore. It becomes a job, and it doesn't have to be. Back in the day, I don't know how old you are, JC, but I remember climbing trees and playing baseball outside with the neighbor kids, and it just doesn't work like that anymore. Not with the screen time. It doesn't work with the kids, and it doesn't work with the adults. So now we have to carve out time and money to do things that we would have done on our own. I think I heard somebody say one time it wasn't till I might get this wrong, but the 1950s or 1960s where we actually had to start building gyms, because prior to that, we led an active enough lifestyle, and now we don't. So we know we need to go to the gym, but it doesn't have to be a bummer. That's the thing. It really can be fun. We call CrossFit recess. It's a fun way to do something that you should be doing, but it doesn't have to be a grind. So pick a pace that you can keep, find a coach that knows what they're doing, and enjoy your time with the friends that you make in it, or bring your friends and family. It's even more fun to do it together.
You brought back a really good point. Back in the old days, we used to ride bikes. We used to play ball until the sun went down, get up early in the morning, help on the farm. So we used to, run to the school or walk to school, and that was activity every day. So nowadays we have to make time, think about it, to be able to stay fit.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I remember growing up, and my rule growing up, me and my brother and my sister was, you got to be in by the time the street lights come on. So summer days were a lot longer, which was great. And I never understood why I was getting punished during daylight savings time because, the change of the time and the day. But yeah, as soon as the street lights went on, we were inside. But other than that, we were outside and playing and riding bikes and throwing balls. And now we're carving out time, but it doesn't have to be any less fun.
Now, you mentioned earlier some people that come to your location to work out. Do you have an example of someone that you took from the beginning all the way to a really measurable improvement, and something that you can give us as a case study of an example of how you helped that person out?
Yeah, I actually cannot believe you're asking this right now, because today a woman at our gym, her name is Michelle, she just posted it, and it wasn't even on our page. She just posted it on her own personal page. And she had a goal 1 year ago to lose 100 pounds. And this is her 1 year mark today. And she was 7 pounds off. She almost made her 100 pounds. Can you imagine losing 100 pounds? So she lost 100 pounds. And I'm actually multitasking right now to try and find this post, because it was awesome. It kind of encapsulates what we try and do for our members here, because yes, they're members, but I get to know these people. I see them 3-4 days a week, and they become relationships. I'll just go ahead and read this. She wrote, 1 year ago today, I started a journey to reclaim my life. My goal was to lose 100 pounds in a year. I fell 7 pounds shy of that, but I'm still very proud of all the hard work I've put in and the results I've gotten. I wouldn't be where I am without the tremendous support and love of my friends at Applewood CrossFit. Training has become a way of life for me, and I know that it's because I found the perfect place for me. It's my home away from home, my safe place to let out all the anger, grief, and frustration. And she goes on, but I won't read the whole thing, but how cool, right? You show up to a gym because you know you need to work out, and you gain a community in a whole new life. It's awesome. It's amazing. So I couldn't have said it better than Michelle did, but that's one example. And it doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're a mountain biker, whether you're even if you're an athlete already and need some extra work, because right now athlete programs are all doing such similar things. How are you going to separate yourself from the thousands of other high school kids that are trying to get a college scholarship? We do off-season programming. No matter where you're at, come in and enjoy your time.
And the fact that it's fun makes it a little easier to keep pushing and keep coming back and keep, looking at your goals down the road and being patient.
Life is hard enough. You don't need to add another hard thing. Yeah. So it's challenging. Challenging and hard are different things. Challenging is good. Let's get challenged, but enjoy your time. Yeah,
challenging makes you want to go and face that challenge and find a way to make it past that.
Yeah, there's something about us that are geared to just go get it. Yes. And if you're challenged, people will rise up to it. Yeah. That's why when you work out by yourself, a lot of times you just peter out. But get challenged and go get it.
Yes. Now, I know you've been doing this for a while. Can you share with us a lesson that you learned earlier on in your life that you still use today in your coaching business?
I was just thinking today, I've been processing through some things lately because I've had my own challenges in life just recently and then in the last handful of months. And this is a very personal thing, but I've learned about myself that I have such fear of failure that a lot of times I won't even start something because I'm afraid to fail, or I'm afraid I'm not going to do it right. And that would be embarrassing or discouraging, whatever the byproduct of those feelings are. I'm afraid to start because I don't want to fail. And I'm learning that if I don't even start, I'm not going to get anywhere. And there's so many applications for this, whether you're talking, we could use it as simply as working out, right? But work, relationships, all of the important things in our life, if you're so afraid of failure, you're not even going to start them. And if you don't start them, you're robbing yourself of a lot of potential joy and great things with relationships or successes. And I'm not talking about just financial, but we were just talking about challenges and overcoming challenges and how awesome that is personally, and building confidence and building yourself up as a person. And if you don't even try, there's no potential for you to get there. So that's something that I've just been learning really in the last few months, and specifically in the last few days have kind of come together. So it doesn't directly relate. It kind of relates. It relates to everything, but I don't know if that made sense.
Well, everything we do relates in life. So it kind of trickles down. The way we do one thing, we do everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what we do in one area just resembles what we're doing in some other area of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the last few months, again, I've had a major life change. And so a lot of things are brand new. And prior to this, I've only done things that I've known very well and things that I'm very good at. So it's funny to hear me say that I'm afraid to do new things when just last year I accomplished something amazing that most people will never get to. I actually competed at the CrossFit Games. It's still strange for me to hear myself say that sentence. I cannot believe I got to do that. And I'm the same person that says I'm afraid to start something. So we've all got our thing. We've all got our fears. We've all got our intimidations. It might be more in one area than the other, but man, I got to remind myself of what it felt like to step on the CrossFit Games floor and do the thing. And I got to do the thing, and I'm robbing myself of a lot of opportunities if I don't do that in other aspects of my life.
And, it's funny that sometimes we get so busy that we don't look back at how far we come.
Yeah.
Accomplished.
Gosh, ain't that the truth? Yeah.
Yes.
Even in competing, it was the same thing. I was so entrenched in training, and as a competitor, you've got to look at your weaknesses and attack your weaknesses. But when you're only working on your weaknesses, you can tend to feel like a very less than athlete, and you don't realize how good you are until you really look at the whole big picture. And so you're right. You got to look at your successes too. As much as you have to look at your failures to get better at them. You've got to look and see how far you've come. Otherwise, going forward, only looking at the things you're not good at can be discouraging.
That's right. Now, if you were to get someone, one thing that they should look at when they're looking for a fitness trainer, what would that be? Experience.
Because I mentioned before, you can get a CrossFit certification in a weekend. And the more I'm in either business or fitness, whatever, there are a lot of people that can talk a very big game. And you don't know who's legit or who's not. So find a coach that's got experience, and you may not know how to find that coach. So go talk to somebody else in the profession or workout regiment that you're looking at and see who they recommend.
Now, Dana, if people wanted to contact you and talk to you, how they can get a hold of you?
Applewood CrossFit is on all the socials, Facebook, Instagram, and all you have to do is type in Applewood CrossFit and that'll pop up. I personally am on Instagram at D Howell, and that's probably the best way for most people to reach us.
Okay. And that's applewoodcrossfit.com?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for our listeners, or her links are going to be just below this recording. Dana Howell, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us, spending some time with us and educating us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. Thanks for having me, JC.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening in. Until next time, this is JC Soto. Goodbye for now.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.